Let's give them some business. A new report shows 10% of American millennials expect they will never own a home. Apartment List researcher Rob Warnock says some people think millennials are foregoing home ownership to stay nimble, mobile.
Yeah.
But he says the numbers don't show that at all.
So I don't think that that's the case. I think the vast majority still value home ownership as an investment and as a lifestyle choice.
And Warnock says Austin's millennials that intend to buy a new home, almost half have yet to start saving for a down payment. Still dealing with some college debt in some cases.
Yeah. I mean, that's so changed the landscape of everything. The college debt as far as how people are living their lives and decisions they're making, and a lot of things are just delayed years and years and years.
I think that number's kind of low. Only 10% say they don't expect to own a home. Maybe 10% have just made a life choice that they don't want to own a home.
Well, and that's fine. That's fine. I mean, I think home ownership is a great thing. It doesn't mean that that's what you're supposed to do. It's certainly a big part of your net worth if that's what's important to you.
I just don't think this is a bad story. I mean, you look at the spectrum of millennials out there. It's a wide range of spectrum. They're as old as 37 now, and I think as young as 20, 22 or 23, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And only 10% don't expect to own a home. I think that's a low number. I think that's a good number. That means 90% expect to own a home.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's. Yeah, I'm with you. That's not a disaster by any stretch of the imagination. But I don't know if that's up from previous numbers. But I understand the reasons for staying mobile at that age, ready to go
Absolutely.
at any time at the drop of a hat. Yes, I can take that job in Boise.
Now, speaking of home ownership, or at least a home, a Democrat Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, she's calling for a $1 trillion housing program. Taxpayers would pay to build 12 million welfare apartment units across the country. Now, free enterprise advocate Mark Little of Los Angeles was on Fox just a few minutes ago to discuss the Omar plan.
Steve, the reality is that we're dealing with a statist, a big government statist. We've gone from a $52 trillion universal health care plan by Elizabeth Warren, and now a $1.2 trillion program by Ilhan Omar. Both of these plans are really designed to bankrupt America. Big government leads to less freedom. And the reality is that Ilhan Omar is calling it a human right, a basic human right. We have to listen to the language. The reality is that human rights, or natural rights, as described by John Locke, are not dependent on government, and they're guaranteed by God. What she's really talking about is a legal right, which is dependent on government and can be revoked. If you just look at our friends in Hong Kong and Iran, they are under government-given rights, and they're being taken away, and they want what we want, which Ilhan Omar is very much trying to take away. With a sleight of hand, I might add.
Now, listen, that's some pretty interesting thoughts there. Jump in here at 512-836-0590, a $1 trillion welfare housing program.
Wow.
That's quite a bit, man.
I'd like to meet all these people I'd be housing, since I am going to pay for it, or I would be paying for it.
You're very generous.
I would like to know them, and certainly them get to know me and see what a good guy I am.
Now, also in the world of business, a slump is unlikely next year. Yeah, the former Fed chairwoman, Janet Yellen, she told the World Business Forum in New York that she doesn't expect a recession during next year. But Yellen, who led the policymakers at the Federal Reserve from 2014 to 2018, added that she thinks, quotes, the odds of a recession are higher than normal and at a level I'm frankly not comfortable with. So there is reason to worry. But not next year, she says. Now, the central bank cut rates for a third time this year in September as trade battles between the world's biggest economies weigh in on business investment globally.
Bad news for Democrats there, to have a good economy for another year during the race. That's unfortunate for them.
That's unfortunate for them.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for them.